everyone. Welcome and thank you for coming out on a cold Thursday evening. I'd like to welcome especially our Trinity emerging leaders who are coming to share part of what they live through the Trinity College. So thank you for coming, and let's continue the evening in prayer.
Kia ora everybody, I'm Greg, and today I'll be speaking to you about Trinity's involvement and contribution in the Mercy Parish cooking. I don't want to steal too much of Mr. Ofano's thunder, as he'll also be talking about this topic soon, so I'll keep this brief. This service involves Trinity students signing up to volunteer to cook here at this parish for those who are less fortunate. We are driven out on Wednesday and get hands-on with the cooking, cutting vegetables, cleaning, and throwing the scraps in the compost outside. It's a great experience as you get to help those who are in need while learning new things from all the other parish and community members. And obviously you get to see and learn which one of your mates has never cut an onion before. It's something truly special and rewarding. And here are some photos that me and my friend Brent had to improvise a little this morning because I was unable to get other photos from the actual Mercy Parish cooking. So that's me at a school kitchen cutting up a carrot. And on the next slide, we have a beautiful compost. And the one photo that I was able to find from 2021 of some other great Trinity students who were able to get involved in this. I'd now like to invite Josie, Tomasi, and Thomas to talk about Young Vinnies.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Kate Nicholson, and I have the privilege of being the principal of Trinity, and have these wonderful young people who have joined us this year as Year 7s. They are all from St Peter Chanel, and we knew that they'd been really active in the St Peter Chanel Young Vinnies group last year. One of our senior students, Charlotte Harris, was our special character prefect last year, and she was an ex-St Peter Chanel girl herself, and she worked alongside Joe to work really closely with this wee crew of Year 6s as they were last year, and we're lucky because we got them this year as Year 7s, so we can see that they're going to be our Young Vinnies children coming through the school. So they're going to tell you a little bit about what they did last year at St Peter Chanel as Year 6s, which is just a good example of some of the work that Joe's doing in the primary schools to bring awareness around social action, social justice, and then of course we are very lucky because we benefit from that when they come to us. So would you like to come up and introduce yourselves? Who's going to speak first? I've forgotten. Josie.
Kia ora, my name is Josie Tuai, and last year I was a part of the St Vinnies group in SPC. We held 3 major events that Joe and Charlotte helped us out with. We did a treat drive, a cook-up, and Christmas baking. Yeah.
Which one were you going to talk about? The treat drive. So we decided that it might be a good idea, just because these young people haven't had a lot of experience speaking and doing a presentation like this, we're going to treat it as a wee bit of an interview. So I will ask some questions and then they'll give the answers, which will just help develop some of those ideas that they're talking about. So Josie was part of a treat drive during the year. So what time of the year did you do that in, Josie?
We did it in Christmas, so the school community donated Christmas treats that we gave to Jo to put in our food bank.
And what sort of treats did the school people bring along to put in the treat bags?
We got chocolate, chips, lots of puddings, and lots of other Christmas treats.
Great. And then you also had somebody else involved in Green Island to help. That were Moyles.
Yes, the local supermarket Moyles doubled matched our things that we got put in. So yeah, we got
Twice as much.
Yeah, twice as much.
And then what did you do with all the treats once you had them at school?
We put them all in big boxes, and then Jo came and collected them, so she could put them in her food bank.
And how many boxes do you think you had altogether?
Probably 5 or 6. Yeah.
Great. Very good. That would have made some people very happy just before Christmas. Because roughly how many children at St. Peter's Chanel last year, just approximately?
50, 60 kids.
So
yeah.
that's a lot of donations, isn't it, for families? Oh, well done. That's very good. Josie, just before you step down and one of the boys comes up here, how does St. Peter's Chanel do their Young Vinnies groups? So who does it? Like, is it the really little ones who've just arrived, or is it just seniors? Tell us about the group.
Yes, so Jo Bell comes in and helps us, helps the senior class choose who will be one of the 4 leaders. Well, that's what happened last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you've left one of your team behind this year. They're year 5, aren't they? So they'll become this year's year 6s.
Yeah.
So they will have been watching the seniors, the year 6s, and know what to do this year.
Yeah.
Right? Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, who's next? Thomas? Yep. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Thomas Crawford, and I was at St. Peter's Chanel last year in the Young Vinnies group.
Great. And what do you want to tell us about Thomas?
Oh, the cook-up that we did.
Okay, tell us all about that.
We held that in term 2, and we made 2 pots of chickpea curry, and it was about 30 family meals.
And where did you make it? Did you have to go somewhere special?
We went to our newly renovated school kitchen.
Great. And who helped you with that?
Charlotte and
Beatrice, was it?
Beatrice.
Yeah, who were the 2 special character prefects from Trinity last year. So they came along and helped you to do that. And then what happened with the meals? Package them all up?
Packaged them all up.
Yep.
And
Did you have to give them out, or did someone
no,
else
we
take
gave
them off your hands?
We gave them to St. Vincent de Paul.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So that would have made some families very happy to receive those, I'm sure. Thanks, Thomas. Okay, and Tomasi?
Hi, I'm Tomasi Tilley, and I was the president of the Young Vinnies at St. Peter's Chanel last year. Last year during Christmas time, we held, through Green Island, we spread Christmas bakings to a whole bunch of local shops, including the fitness shops and all the dairies, and we made a whole bunch of treats, including chocolate and cookies.
How many bags of treats do you think you made altogether?
Probably like 15 to 20. And the whole entire school made one treat per child to put in a bag. And the year 6s and year 5s went all around Green Island and gave it out.
Gave the bags.
Gave the bags and all the containers out to all the local stores like Fresh Choice, Fish and Chip Shop, and the fitness club.
That's great. Thank you. And if you were president of the group, Tomasi, who came to visit you? You can see up on the screen, there's a photo up there. So what was that all about?
The Otago Daily newsletter came and took a photo of our young Vinnies last year. And some of our FIA members, one of them was year 5, and the other one has moved to a different country. So, yeah, that was our club last year, and Thomas was helping with all of our stuff, but he wasn't there on the day, I don't think.
And day of the photo. It's unfortunate, Thomas. Yeah. So are you, the three of you, you're interested in carrying on with young Vinnies at Trinity now in the junior group?
Yeah.
So Jo, you've got some willing participants ready to go. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to ask our junior young Vinnies, so they're now year 8s. So they are where these young ones were last year. They're going to come up and tell you some of the things that they took part in last year. And they were mentored again by Jo in school, but also by the senior young Vinnies group, who worked quite closely with them. So I'm going to ask them to come up and they can introduce themselves to you. And we have got just some flyers to give out at the end as well. They'll give you those it's got a little bit more information about what the senior group was doing last year too. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and here's just a little part of what we did last year. Last year, the junior Trinity Young Vinnies members created a team and worked together to help those in our wider community who needed some help and support. The year was very successful, and we came here today to share with you all the ways we've helped our wider community so far.
Hello, I'm Kaylee, and the first thing that we did as a Young Vinnies group was a can drive. We all organised a can drive together, and we participated in all different ways. Some of us made posters, some of us collected boxes, and others spread the word in other places around the school. Nobody was left out. It was a very successful day, and we collected a few hundred cans for the food bank. We thank all of our donors. We love knowing that people in our community would be fed and warm.
Kia ora, I'm Jasmine, and during the winter time we started a winter clothes collection to help those who needed a bit of warmth during the cold times. We found that this was a great way to spread love and warmth to our wider communities. We found a lot of great donations from our peers and are really grateful for their commitment and contribution. We loved doing this and seeing how many people supported us and the community throughout the day. We really liked doing this project because it taught us that some people have it really hard in the winter, not just with clothes, but with finding cheap food and warm shelters. It warmed our hearts to know that people would be warm during the winter times.
Kia ora, my name is Julie Kendrick. And last year we also did a Christmas food drive. In term 4, we wanted to do another thing to help people in need. So we decided to do a Christmas food drive. The idea was to collect biscuits, gingerbread cake, canned food, muesli bars, and all sorts like that to give away to those who may have needed some joy. We collected so much delicious food, and people on Christmas, and so we're so glad that people on Christmas were fed and happy. We also baked some delicious cookies in our school kitchen. They're called fingerprint cookies, and they have a little bit of jam, and they were really cool. And the food bank really enjoyed that donation. Thank you.
We'd like to thank Joe Bell and Charlotte Harris for all their time and dedication towards both of the Young Vinnies groups, and know that we couldn't really have done it without both of them.
So I'm just going to speak very briefly about something else that happens at school that we try to keep very low-key, I guess, but it also shows you that those ideas of social justice permeate throughout the whole staff and beyond. So this is something that's been happening since about 2019, and Katrina Kurbell began this initiative originally. Then, of course, many of you will know Katrina is now principal up at Sacred Heart in Lower Hutt, yes. After leaving us, she went to St Catherine's, and now she's at Sacred Heart up there now instead. She began this just on a fairly small level, and then I picked it up after she left, and then Trudy McBride, who is in our office, said she has got more time than me, and so she said, let me do this, and it has really just exploded. So we've got members of the community who have really helped us with this. Every Friday afternoon, every Friday morning, thanks to Martina Kelly, our office becomes full of boxes of bread and cakes and buns from New World Gardens. So they've partnered with us to provide food, a lot of breads and cakes and so on, that they know that is otherwise going to be wasted. So either Nuala or Martina, they pick that up on the way to school, and that comes into the office. At the same time, we have one of our parents owns Evansdale's cheese, and he'll bring in cheese to go into the boxes as well. So we've sort of gathered people along the way who are donating and bringing this to fruition by adding a lot of variety to those boxes as well. Lou's Kitchen and Pantry, which is up at Helensburgh, she supplies any of the food because they don't open in the weekend. So whatever's fresh still there on a Friday afternoon at the end of, when they're about to close up at the end of business, they make available to us to collect late on a Friday afternoon. So these are all packaged up, ready to go, beautiful meals. And we can either use them at the time if they're needed, or they're brought back to school to go into our freezer, which Lou also helped us to purchase via a funding situation that came about. So we've now got this freezer as well full of ready-made meals. As well as that, our connection with the St Francis of Assisi Trust means that the food that our senior students are going to help to cook, we provide the labels, and in return for the labelling of the food, they bring us about 10 meals every Friday morning as well. So there's a lot that happens on a Friday to get boxes ready for families. Occasionally we'll have other things come in. One day before Easter last year, Pablo, who's Evansdale Cheese, also had gone and bought a whole lot of Lindt Easter eggs and chocolates to be popped into those boxes. Another member of our staff, his wife found a really good deal on spaghetti, so she bought a whole, almost a pallet of them it seemed, to come to school, and they were also put into the boxes. So Trudy puts out a roster to staff, and they just sign up to say when they're available to do those deliveries. We've also got board members that do that, and Barb's here tonight. She's one of one of our main deliverers, but usually there's about two people who do the deliveries every Friday afternoon after school. And we're supplying approximately, depends on what the need is, we'll supply about 5 to 6 families every Friday. So they come about in lots of different ways. Sometimes our pastoral team know that a family's having a difficult time, that maybe something's happened in the family that for financial reasons or for other reasons, there's just a wee bit of pressure there. So they'll just go on a list. So it might be just a one-off if somebody's in hospital or if there's been a bereavement or something like that. For some of our families, it's a regular, so they will get something most weeks. You'll see up there on the slide, there's the blue box is the message that goes out into some of those boxes, because we also don't want to be in a position where families are relying on us, because then if we're not able to supply that week, we don't want that to actually become more of a challenge for them. So we've got some regular families who receive some food from us every week, others every now and then. But Trudy very quietly and anonymously just keeps a record of that. Most people wouldn't know it's happening at all. And she will just, every now and then, she'll just pop a quiet message out to our deans, our pastoral team, to say, do we know of any families that are deserving or in need of just a little bit of extra support during the time. So that is something that has, it's grown over the years. We've got a lot more people involved in it. And even though they may not be actually doing the delivering themselves, or they may not be intimately involved, the opportunity, I think, for staff to be involved in different ways and to be actually creating some of that social action that we're expecting of the students in the school is really special. So that's something else that we're doing that goes beyond the kids at school. And it's wonderful to be able to have adults actually also walking the talk. So that's another thing we do. So thank you. I'm going to hand on to Nuala now to come and speak about Blessed Edmund Rice and the charism that is within school. And then Evie is going to speak to you about the Edmund Rice camps. And they're a long-standing tradition, and many of you may have already been involved in some way in those. Evie was born into the Edmund Rice family, or my Edmund Rice camp family. So she has had a long experience with the camps and is now a leader along with some of our other senior students. So I'll ask Nuala to come up.
Kia ora everyone. I've just been asked to talk about Edmund Rice and our school's connection to Edmund Rice. So Edmund Ignatius Rice was a Roman Catholic missionary and a passionate educator who was born in Callan in Ireland. And even though he grew up in a very wealthy family, he dedicated his life to helping the less fortunate. In 1802, Edmund opened his first school in Waterford, and back then education was hard to come by for many. And his goal was to provide access and opportunities for children who wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise. In 1802, Edmund also founded the religious orders, the Presentation Brothers and the Christian Brothers, aiming to offer holistic education and that offered academic and religious teachings. The Christian Brothers expanded their mission globally and established a presence in New Zealand with St. Peter's College, St. Kevin's College, St. Thomas of Canterbury's College, Lisson College and Trinity Catholic College, all being founded by the Christian Brothers. As part of the Christian Brothers Oceania province, we get the opportunity to collaborate and come together as one with the other Christian Brother founded schools to share ideas on how we can help each other in our communities. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity, alongside the other head prefects from my school, to attend the Edmund Rice Leadership Weekend. It was a very good experience where students from the 5 different schools founded by the Christian Brothers came together, got to know each other, learned about Edmund's incredible work, and brainstormed how we can carry on his mission on a community level. You can see this mission alive in our community through things such as Mercy Parish Cooking, Young Vinnies, meal deliveries, and the awesome Edmund Rice camps, which Evie is about to come up and talk about.
Kia ora everyone. As Ms Nicholson said, I was pretty much born into the Eddie Rice family, so I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an idea on how we're living out Eddie's dream at camp. So Eddie Rice Camp is a week for the kids, is the whole idea of it. At camp, it's a week-long experience for kids from all over Otago, and they come together for all different reasons, whether it be financial needs, even just having a hard time making friends at school. And as leaders, we aren't told these reasons because it doesn't matter at camp. We just treat them as kids, give them something to go back to school and tell their friends about. Sorry everyone, my eyesight is terrible. A huge thing for camp is making sure that we give the kids memories and stories, whether that be a kid asking for nothing but a bowl of canned peaches for breakfast, because they'll be getting that canned bowl of peaches, or they ask to go down the water slide with you, even if you just got changed into your warm clothes, you go down. This builds such a special and beautiful bond with the kids. My favourite part as a leader is getting to know kids from school on a whole different level. On camp, you get a whole different side to people. So, for example, Nuala and Greg, already great friends with them, but on camp, oh, it's just gorgeous. We do reflections every night, and you just get to meet them. There's no boundaries on camp. Everyone is so tired. Everyone looks crazy, but everyone's just there trying to live out Eddie's dream and give the kids a week to remember. So yeah, that's just how at Trinity, well 90% of us are from Trinity, we get roped into it from Miss Bresinello, and we all come together with sometimes friends from other school, and we try to give these kids something to talk about when they get back to school. So yeah, that's a bit of Eddie Rice for you. Kia ora everyone, thank you.
So Jerry said that during this, possibly there might be some questions afterwards. Is that right? So I suppose, would you like to, or Trinity people come back up the front and maybe just stand in front of the altar, and there might be some questions for you, and I will start them off actually. So my question, Evie, is how many children would be on a camp, on an average camp? Because the camps happen up to about 5 times a year, no, right? 3. Oh, and then there's sometimes there's extra weekends.
Yes, so on camp we have around 20 kids, give or take, and they can get referred to us, so we can just spot them out. We also have 20 leaders, so we have a 1-to-1 ratio with the kids, so that each kid has we just do that to make it a bit more personal. It also makes it a lot easier on the leaders.
And so 20 leaders is a lot of people to find 3 times a year for a whole week. Where do they all come from?
Well, after you do a camp, you don't want to stop doing camp kind of thing. So last camp I was in a camp with someone who was here living around Dunedin, so she's 24, and we're now great friends. So most people come back, but other people get roped in by us immediately usually, or friends, yeah, get your friends to come, and then it just grows. Yeah.
Are there any other questions you'd like to ask about any of the work that...
I have a comment about the Eddie Rice camps. Like, you try and make them really useful and really simple, but these kids are often, or these fun are often experiencing lots of challenges. So you could be like me, and you could sponsor a kid by doing a monthly payment if you've got the capacity to do that. So the school tends to ask people once a year, but last year it came out, and it doesn't go to community, and I get it because of being on the board and my connections and stuff, but you can support the camps by basically to sponsor a technology, just do a monthly donation, like you would for your vision, but you know that it's impacting on your Otago community. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can just ask is a trust that runs the camps. So they've got a board. They are probably, and I've had conversations with them here about being even stricter than schools are around a lot of the vetting and the child protection policies, how they go about making sure that some of those most vulnerable children that they have are really well cared for and looked after, and there's no doubt about that protection while they're on camp. So they run into very rigorous rules and policies that they have. There are also the Auckland camps, and we heard about them at the Edmund Rice Conference in Oamaru last September, didn't we? That they run quite differently. Yeah. So every lot of Edmund Rice camps run differently, but there are only Auckland and Dunedin in New Zealand that have a group that run individually for those children or children who are just having a few challenges.
I've got a question. So the theme of this talk is Pilgrims of Hope, and you guys are going to be future leaders. We're leaders now, and you'll also be the people in the future who hopefully carry on the stuff that you are learning about social justice in schools. So my question is, do you think that your social justice learning and understanding other people and their situations will impact your choices after school? Maybe like jobs, careers, where you want to live. So that's the end of it.
I'll take that if that's okay. First of all, a great question. And I think that for me personally, as well as for a lot of my friends, the community that we build at Trinity and how we learn from previous leaders and from those who came before us, we truly do want to do what's best in the community, what's best for others, because that idea of compassion and of love and all those values of service, respect, are something that everybody is very, very dear to their hearts. And I know for myself, it's something that I will be preparing for in my future career.
What are you thinking about career-wise?
Career-wise? Tough question, and especially at this time, right?
Yeah.
challenge us to take that up within ourselves. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much for coming along tonight. I know some of you have been busy afternoons too with their trials and all sorts of things happening. As you leave, or after we've finished with the prayer, I think a couple of them have just got some sheets of paper that will explain a little bit more about the work that I've been doing, and I'll just bring it back to the entrance area there to give that to you. And I'll just
On behalf of the St. Francis Trust and Massive Parish, really appreciate the effort